It's time to figure out who the fuck. Now, this may actually be important information. I want to know precisely your relationship to Parallax, because I feel like Parallax has staged a burglary, potentially.
Yes. As I've mentioned, Parallax acquired my company, System 1 Software.
Or are you burgling people out from under Parallax in order to get your company out from under them and retake your rightful place as the CEO of Beepy Boopy? Are you the silly man staring out the window going, ooh, machines?
I accepted a CTO position, and additionally served on Parallax's board for several years.
Cognitive trampoline officer. You're there to make sure everyone in your mind bounces around. It stops them from stealing the thoughts. They come close to, the thought museum that we all have in our brain at this point in the future. And they think they're going to steal the prized memory of that time you saw a chimpanzee and we all laughed. But they step on the floor and they get sent rocketing into the ceiling so hard that they die on impact. That's how powerful the trampolines this man creates are. He's a force to be reckoned with.
The other directors and I had a difference of opinion about the direction the organization should take.
Okay.
The non-centralized data scheme for most ROMs used today seemed ludicrous at the time. We were playing with fire. Dangerous, morally ambiguous fire. And well, we hadn't invented a bucket of water.
They never invent a bucket of water. You have to invent water, right? And that, well, water sort of already happens, but at minimum you need to invent a bucket. It's just a bit of metal. It's just a recessed bit of metal. You can invent a bucket, come on.
So when Parallax's servers were destroyed by hobbyist hackers, well, needless to say, it was a PR nightmare. Everything halted until we could get the damage fixed. And since the security work that goes into maintaining the integrity of near-impenetrable meshnet is astronomically expensive, we had our share of disagreements. In the end, I was voted off the board and they went on without me.
That's me determining. But that's the sound I make when I determine the extent to which you are involved.
Do I have hard feelings? Of course. Who wouldn't?
They burgled you out of your rights.
In the end, though,
I think...
it doesn't matter. I'm an old rich man with enough hobbies to last the next 2 decades.
Well, at least you realise that, because most of them don't. Okay. So if it's not you, I feel like one of your old board members is involved. I'm looking at the glasses and it does just look like he's got very big purple eyes. So, how did you know of him?
Hayden and I made our acquaintance when the two companies first underwent the merger. At the time, he was a young, hotshot researcher working in the search data correlation sector.
Beeping and booping in those lucrative scrambles.
He was assigned to find the best ways to integrate Parallax's own collection and analysis tools into System 1's LIPS operating system.
You are the makers of a big lip?
Honestly, but I admired his passion for the subject.
Do you know what he did?
His research? No, not so much. I remember at the time he had interest in advanced machine sapience, but that is the realm of science fiction. He once showed me a prototype of his.
Nobody could make a droid real.
She was quite clever, very convincing, but you could tell she did not contain the spark of life. I assume that you are another of his creations.
Yes, I am. I'm sorry, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Turing.
And I am Scrumblow. This cannot be spoken.
Did you say she?
Ah, yes. She was quite insistent on that fact over the course of my conversation with her. Hayden said that she had picked out the color for her casing herself. Pastel pink.
Pink droid.
Still, I must assume you are far more advanced than she if you're spearheading the search for your creator. Perhaps I should have had more faith in Hayden's little hobby.
Do you know what became of her, or where she might be now? Hayden has told me so little of his past research.
I'm sorry, Turing. It was a long time ago.
In a galaxy far, far away. That's right! It's R2-D2! But pink. There'll be like another movie to explain why R2-D2 isn't pink anymore. I'm sure. Check Wikipedia.
All my contacts in Parallax make mention of your erstwhile sibling. I'll pass it on to you.
Please bring me the siblings.
Thank you.
We
Dr.
must
Fairlight.
form into the large sentient robot to defeat all of the world. We're going to Voltron the entire cyberpunk situation. What you're here?
The chair you find me in is an advanced diagnostic and life support run. Its development is one of my hobbies, so to speak.
You built your own organ management system.
It monitors my vitals and administers medications as necessary to keep my body stable.
It could turn into a series of cubes
I likely would have perished
at any
long ago
second.
without it, or at least would have been severely bedridden. It requires frequent maintenance, and I'm here to have it examined.
Uh-huh.
There's a particular fellow at this hospital who is the only one I trust to run the correct diagnostics and fine-tune things to my exact needs. It's the same way you might get your car serviced, making sure everything's in check. It's too integral to my health to count on just luck.
But bear in mind, if everything ends up in checkmate, the life support system will lose, and you'll immediately die.
Unfortunately, many critical
It's a very difficult
patients were
balance.
rushed into surgery all at once. My appointment has been pushed back.
There's been a large fight.
The hospital administrators placed me here with a resting patient so as not to be disturbed by the chaos outside.
Mr. Chaos has come and punched everyone at once.
I don't think they expected you to awaken quite as quickly as you did.
I've always had a very powerful waking up module installed in my brain. So, how do you yes?
I can think of a few ways. I still have some contacts in Parallax and can put out some quiet feelers. Maybe they'll know something.
I can train an octopus to steal information from them. You wouldn't call them... What has feelers as opposed to big tentacles? I can give an octopus feelers, can't I? It's the future. But what had feelers to begin with? I'm sure there's an insect. Do you have an insect, sir?
I will admit, I don't have much to offer until there's more information.
You need more information in order to compile insects, okay. Turing? Get insect info. Do you know... Are you familiar with the process of turning data into insects? Real insects, bear in mind, not digital insects. I can make Digimon myself. alright? If that was going to solve anything, could it solve anything? Dr. Fairlight, could insects solve anything in the digital context?
Is there anything you can tell me? I'd like to help in any way I can.
You've not answered my question.
What did you find at Hayden's apartment?
A big, naughty cover-up.
The first time we went, nothing. But when we went back to extract his computer's data cache, the place had been pillaged.
Stop
and the Human
attacking me.
Revolution had spray-painted slogans all over our walls. Hayden's computer was gone, and we were assaulted. And now we're here, injured and losing our trail with each passing second. We're still frustratingly in the dark and running out of time. I fear Hayden is slipping out of reach. I am failing him.
I'm very sorry to hear that. I wish I could do more. Hayden's company was most enjoyable.
So what's your angle, sir?
What do I want?
The amulet. Same as anyone else, really.
It would be nice to be young again. Play the darling of the company. Court prince and pauper alike.
This man fucks. There you have it, folks.
But right now, someone I grew very fond of is in great danger. I simply wish to see Hayden home again, safe.
It's been very interesting speaking to you, Dr. Fairlight.
We're gonna have to repair the rift now. So, should we... I don't know. I will defer to Boopus.
I don't think we have any choice.
If I'm looking into this on my own, you might as well benefit from it. We both want the same thing, yes?
I don't know. I only have your word for it that Boopy Beepy motives line up in the summertime.
It's up to us to seize opportunity when it appears.
You see, that's a villain line. That's something you only say if you're a villain. Like, that's gonna come back, like, 2 hours from now. You're gonna be like, I'm only seizing my opportunity because it's appeared. But the opportunity is like a killing a child. I don't know. I don't know where this is gonna go, do I?
I think I have a lead for you two that will prove most useful.
Thank you. I will eat it at once.
You said you found human revolution slogans spray-painted on the walls?
Yeah, I think it might have been marketing material from when the game originally came out.
I am acquaintances with the man leading the current human revolution protests at the Genus Clinic.
Acquaintances?
His name is Brian Mulberry.
Brian Mulberry.
An introduction from me. He may be willing to shine some light on that particular event.
Hounst.
Well, when I exited Parallax, I sought out like-minded individuals. We worked together to prevent a full deployment of the MeshNet system. Brian Mulberry was one such person. We did not succeed in our efforts, obviously.
Yeah, the net's very meshed right now.
Come to think of it, that event might have been what prompted Brian to take a more radical stance against technology.
It's so funny.
But yes, our motivations aligned for one brief time, and I gained his respect from it. Hopefully, that can be useful for you.
I need to know the secrets. Well, we already know that that's not necessarily the case, so let's go and
Of course.
solve it.
Please, do not let me delay you any further.
I'm going to solve the crime now.
Not Turing. I don't think Hayden's faith in you is misplaced. You are an impressive piece of technology.
Thank you, you, Dr. Fairlight. We'll be in touch.
Excellent. What?
Should I call downstairs to have you discharged?
Please do. I think it's important to leave a hospital.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Don't punch! Why does everyone punch me when they It's Mr. Screwbob. I'll spell that on screen for you. Screwbob, look at them. Scrimbling and bimbling along the hospital floor. Looks very similar to a Roomba. Doesn't actually rumb at all. Unless I look at them later and I receive information from the game that contradicts this assessment, in which case I guess I've got no choice. Why is Beaker here? Sort of like swinging Beaker here. I don't know what's. Don't know what to make of this stimulus.
I can't believe that you're still pulling the exact same shit you were years ago, but this time it's truly unreal.
So if it's truly unreal, then it didn't happen. So you can't be angry. Checkmate. Oh shit, have I shut off the life support system by doing... It didn't pertain to chairs.
Do you even realize how bad impersonating a police officer is?
Not really.
It's a felony, jackass.
So's feeding homeless people.
I should be slapping cuffs on you and dragging your sorry ass off right now.
But you can't slap cuffs on my ass. I deliberately removed the handles.
Detective Rivers, wait!
They install handles on your ass in the future so that you can handcuff it at any time. Clues in the fucking name, folks. Like, handcuffs. Why do you need people's asses incapacitated for the duration of an arrest?
The plan to lift your credentials and use them to access Hayden's apartment was entirely mine. Also, I feel it necessary to mention that though you are understandably upset, such language and imagery is beneath you as a respected officer of the law.
You are about to die.
Oh, great. The robot did it, huh? I guess I'll just take you to jail then instead. That what you want? Don't even try to take all the blame. I know that a certain someone lent you a helping hand.
I'm gonna steal all the blame, and then you won't be able to blame anyone.
It isn't like you have the hardware to pull that off alone, little bot.
Well, to be honest, Detective Rivers, I think I'll tell you the whole truth, since my friend here trusts you. Keep it under your hat, though, metaphorically. I am no ordinary ROM, but actually a prototype designed to be the first fully sapient machine. I suspect creating me is the main factor behind Hayden's disappearance, beyond his day-to-day research for parallax. My name is Turing.
I'm still looking at Scrimbly Discmas in the background. It's so small, just having a snoof.
Whew. Okay. Hi, Turing. Well, that is a damn bigger problem than you first let on, huh, old pal? The first machine sapient. People are gonna have things to say about that. Especially the human revolution. Ugh. This is exactly what I wanted to avoid.
That's why I've avoided building a sapient machine this whole time. I could have done it in no seconds flat. Somebody dropped me in the drink without my help. You're supposed to progress the plot as required. Yes.
This time,
release me.
And only because this time I can let you get away with it safely. I doubt anyone will notice your manipulation of that NSFPD ROM, nor that I was apparently in two places at once. But mostly because I think you're right.
I am, thank you.
Someone higher up in the department is trying to delay any search into Hayden's disappearance. Here's the story. Apparently, the investigations you ran into this morning were about the lock on the apartment door being reported broken by a neighbor. The building couldn't reach Hayden, so they went ahead and got it fixed on their own, but the NSFPD sent a bot to check things out and guard the place for a while afterward, right? Standard procedure, treating it as a break-in. Have someone there for when Hayden shows up. Obviously, you and I know there's a bigger story. But when I filled out the missing person report, I was informed in no uncertain terms that I am to wait an entire 48 hours before I can upgrade the existing case. Why? Just on the off chance the door being busted and Hayden being missing are unrelated and my search screws something up for the completion of the break-in report. As if. There's a problem if you're so by the book you're getting paper cuts.
Don't punch me again.
And that was before all of this happened.
These are
But he's
violent
not happy about
conversations.
whoever took the bot out. That's who they're after now. They won't even care if Hayden never shows.
Immediately
Today's
going
assault
after the
and
grudge.
vandalization of our apartment will only make the entire situation more confusing and sensitive for the police.
Do you think the kidnapping was done by the grudge? We don't know. Has anybody checked for cursed videotape? Could anything play cursed videotapes in 2064? We're subscribed to a vintage technology newsletter, are we not? Maybe that's how it comes back into play, as we find out that a funny grudge has been going around burgling all the men.
There's too many moving parts to piece anything together, and it's not fun trying to argue with the bureaucrats that one thing happened over another. These little incidents of smashing shit and spray paint sound more like Froyo Stand 2.0 to them than a serious abduction.
Well, when they realise that the apartment isn't a second Froyo stand, she'll tell them to get frozen yogurt from it. And then they'll stand there for 5 years, but because it's a conspiracy and they're all probably in on it, they'll insist that it's going to happen if they just have to keep waiting. So they'll all be stuck in the apartment waiting for frozen yogurt that will never come, and then they're out of the way and dealt with, and we can get on with our investigation.
And I suppose I won't be very useful as a witness to
Only
the kidnapping
positives.
without explaining the makeup of my being to the entire department, which will only scandalize things further. Darn it all.
Darn all of it.
Look, it's not being squashed completely.
Darning
I don't think
all of
anyone's
it.
been bought. But until there's undeniable proof Hayden was taken by force, they're gonna care more about the poor doorknob and some paint on the walls than him being missing. Which means somebody definitely has some influence. Enough to buy themselves time by forcing me to follow protocol to a T. Not that I will, but I'm gonna have to keep things quiet.
It sounds like it's
Quietly
going to
do
be up to us.
crimes. Looks like it's up to me.
Yeah, so stop messing around.
I wasn't messing around until you assaulted me in the hospital lobby.
There's certainly a story here, but if you keep botching your moves, you'll blow it.
I didn't botch any moves.
I'd really rather you not be involved at all, but I know that isn't gonna happen at this point.
I botched everything perfectly. Not permanently. Perfectly, right? But then a man with military-grade hardware ate my bones.
I've got a bad feeling people are gonna end up dead over this. I don't want you to be one of them, buddy. And I really don't want to be the one making that call to your sister. Please.
I will stop the world
Yeah, I know.
so that someone can get off.
Just here.
Yes, the zappy.
Take this. Use it if you have to.
I can stop everything with my electricity. That was gonna be Electro's catchphrase in the comics, but it never took off. It probably isn't, but thank you.
Me either.
Scrumblow
I'll be
might
in touch if I
need
find
to
anything
electrocute
else,
your
but don't hold your
friends.
breath.
Ho,
My
ho,
superiors are
ho,
gonna keep
ho,
leaning on
ho.
me to do nothing. Back to the grind, I guess. See ya. Stay safe.
Grind all the police.
For your time, Detective Rivers.
They may drop rare items.
You should talk to the receptionist and formally check out before we go anywhere.
There appears to be 2 receptionists, and I'm not sure which one is the checkout anytime you like, and which one is the one that tells you can never leave.
We should also look for Dr. Fairlight's assistant, Mr. Decker. He should be somewhere around.
Beaker? Is this you? Deckering? little Beepo. It's Scrub. Beepo Scrubbinson. Fantastic design. Hello. Me too. I love Warble Can I pet? I don't like the implication of use. I want to pet the Beepus. That's very mysterious of you to look like you're a resting woman. I thought that just said placed, which was confusing because that's not a noun. Well, you've got a character portrait, so presumably you're the assistant.
Hello, the name's Leon Decker. It's a pleasure to meet you.
You certainly speak.
Fairlight messaged ahead that I needed to pass one of his cards on to you. Here.
Is it Pot of Greed? Can I take two additional business cards from your pocket?
When the chair's getting fixed.
Well, it is keeping him alive, so that's understandable, sir.
The last gala he organized was full of unsavory types. He's probably happy to help folks whose pockets aren't deeper than their thoughts.
Silly questions.
Yeah, boss said you'd have a few for me.
Questions
I'm not
for
really
you.
supposed to answer anything too private, but take your best shot.
Don't pling at me.
Oh, mostly gopher work, to be honest.
He just works on the gophers. I knew it, he just builds gophers for a living. I looked at him and I thought, gopher manufacturing droid number 386B. And I've never thought that about anyone before. I just had that instinctive knowledge. I guess I may be part of the gopher manufacturing system as well. That's how I had the built-in recognition chip.
Started when I was just out of the military. I was looking for a gig from someone...
The military? You electrocuted me with your knowledge?
North Korea made that hard.
North Korea's told you to have an electric about me.
The old man pays me to guard his life, run a few errands for him, and play substitute arm candy at most of the charity galas. Not terribly
Substitute.
exciting, but I've already had enough excitement to last me another 30 years.
Substitute. Why? I think, what's your story?
Probably not as exciting as you hope. I grew up in Montana, on a family farm. I didn't have my pa's farm hands,
You
so I
farmed
joined the military
families?
as soon as I could, like my grandpaps. Came home looking to
Grandpaps.
do something a whole lot quieter for the rest of my life.
So I went into the military.
I didn't know at the time how boring quiet could be. But hey, I'll take it over getting shot at.
Nobody shoots at me today, so I've got no choice. It's
You
a
think
useless
sitting in that
question, I
chair
feel
all
like.
day is very entertaining. You know, the old man's talked to me about the things he used to do in his glory days. I'm sure he told you about when he was the head of some big companies. He was cold, ambitious, and took down anyone with half a mind to get in his way. I think once he aged, he realized how lonely that kind of life can be. Helping people's the only way he can feel like he's still doing something. But hey, what do I know? I just spend all my time with him.
Thank you,
No
Leon.
problem.
Scrumblo thanks you from the bottom of his scrumb.
I'll be around if you know where to look.
I do physically exist, after all.
You have a good day now.
I might. Probably the person who assaulted us. Right. Who's get me out of a hospital? Oh, hey, it's me.
Patient? My records indicate that you have been admitted for possible cranial trauma. You should currently be in your assigned bed resting.
Please admit me for possible cranial leave the hospital.
While I am truly delighted to see that you have regained consciousness, I must insist that you return to your room to be examined by a medical professional immediately.
You're trying to delay my scrumbulous investigation. I've accidentally zapped myself with my funny fun.
An accidental discharge of a weapon is a serious event. I must insist that you remain for treatment.
It was the only one that
Even
seemed like it
non-lethal
might
stunners can
reduce.
leave much lasting neurological damage.
Well, I've got a lasting neurological leave.
Very well. I am prohibited by law from detaining you here against your will, patient.
Thank you.
But you should note in your release paperwork that willful early termination of medical services releases this hospital and its parent company, ZHC, from legal liability should your condition persist or worsen outside of our care. Additionally, all test and medical data from your visit will be shared with our standard partners to help improve our services and offerings and to keep the price affordable. I am further required to inform you that this visit has expended the last of your year's governmentally mandated healthcare credits.
I mean, like, that's meant to be ha-ha hoo-hoo dystopia. It's better than the system America's got right. Like, you get some healthcare for free, at least. It sounds like... What was the middle bit? Tell me.
Lastly, you will be required to provide payment or proof of private insurance for any further visits for routine or emergency medical care. Please take care to fill out all forms thoroughly and accurately. And do have a nice day.
I'll thoroughly and accurately fill out your tombstone, you dickend.
Your medical billing makes me glad I'm synthetic. You should look for more paying journalism work before you get shot again.
I'm gonna fill you full of ghosts. For that. It's not your fault. I should probably save the Spectre method for whoever is doing
Well, we're
Make
free to leave.
the
Why not
healthcare
head back home first,
make me
yes?
cry. There,
Sure
yes.
you'd like the chance to shower at least.
I want to shout at the
For such
plant,
a clean
please.
place, it sure seems to have left you feeling foul.
I do touch birds. Who's... Oh, that was the sound of the shower I was just in. Okay.
You look good.
Thank you for confirming that, because I can't tell. I have no physical appearance in this world.
If you're feeling up for it, we should go find Tomcat and tell them about what happened.
I might do
They
that,
should
yes.
still be waiting for us at Stardust. Let's not keep them waiting. Oh, by the way, while you were showering, I was able to replant your Crassula ovata.
I was going to ask about that. It looks far more scrambly. With all of the plants coming out, it looks far less like a strawberry than I initially believed.
Don't forget to talk to it and give it some love. When I try talking to it, it doesn't even notice I'm there. Either way, our next move
God.
is Stardust.
Is my houseplant a cyberpunk bigot? I don't believe it. Speaky plant, hello. There, Wilty. I do believe there's a point. Your leaves are very good.
Every bit will help in the end.
Tell me some of your plantly wisdoms. Leaves. Is that it? Yeah, it's pronounced leaves even. I don't think it was even correct. Who's the plant here, dickhead, you or me? Alright, fair enough. Well, I've got some things to consider, evidently. It's time for me to go home and have a sleep. So, good night for you, and see you again if you want it. Bye.